Hey guys, welcome to the show. Happy Saturday to everybody. Hope your weekend is going good. One more time, we're doing a pre-recorded show. October is just a very busy month. My son's in band, so we have a lot of band competitions. We have a couple ghost hunts thrown in there as well. I don't have any vacation time left at work, so they're letting me work on my days off. So um, here we are. We're doing a pre-record. We have a great guest today. Greg Ogles is backstage, waiting to come on. Always a fun time when Greg comes on, no matter what channel he's on. So I appreciate Greg coming on. So, and like I said, hope everybody's having a good time, a good weekend so far. Next weekend, I will get back to doing live. So stay tuned for that. Couple things before we get moving on here with Greg. Hope you like that intro. I made that actually last night. I went out and videotaped that, recorded it. Videotaped. I'm old, aren't I? Recorded all that stuff like about 10 o'clock at night of the front yard and stuff. So it was fun putting it together, and I hope you guys like that. And then Tuesday, I did the show from sitting out in my front yard. So that was pretty interesting. So anyway, we do have one contest going on this month. If you have a Halloween decoration, whether it's your house or cubicle, office space, bedroom, whatever, send me pictures of it at paranormalamongus72@gmail.com. And we're going to do a little contest on November 2nd, I believe is the date. I'm going to show all the pictures, and people in chat are going to vote on them. So, and if you win, you will get a Paranormal Among Us t-shirt and a little pillow. So send those pictures in. It'll be fun. So, all right. I'm going to bring up Greg Ogles now. Hi, Greg. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. Every time you come on, it's just always a good time. And whenever I see you in a show, it's always a good time. Hearing
Yeah,
your
I always try
stories
to
and
make it lighthearted and fun.
and
If not,
that's the great thing that life we're crazy busy with stuff.
mhm,
If you can just stop and have a good time and a laugh, that makes everything
mhm.
so much better.
Yeah, if you're not having fun doing this, then you're not doing it right.
Yeah, you should just walk away,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah, you're not doing it right.
right. So um we were talking backstage, you're a pretty busy guy
I
these
am.
days.
I am. It's incredibly busy this season.
Mhm.
I just got off of a twofer event this past weekend where I went to a meet and greet and had to leave there, go to another a private event, and in the private event we had a nice little sighting. We'll talk about that later, but I had a
Okay.
nice little sighting. Next weekend I'll be going to, or this coming up weekend I'll be going to New Orleans for another private event,
Mhm.
and after that I will be going to North Georgia uh, to
Wow.
to film for film number 3.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's several events in here that
Mhm.
like on the 25th of October, I'll be flying out to Kansas City for a ghost hunt and an event there
At
with I guess the Blondes and Booze at the
Blondes and
museum.
Booze will be at Ray County
Mhm.
Museum. I'll be there. It's going to be a fun night.
It
That
is.
yeah, have you ever been there, Ray County?
I have not. I have not. I was planning on going there last. So in the past, and
Mhm.
something came up, and I couldn't
Yeah.
go. So I'm looking forward to it now.
It's a very interesting place. I mean, the museum alone is pretty fantastic, and
Hmm.
then you throw in the haunting part of it, and it's just really interesting. I can't remember. I guess it was August. We were there. I went over there with Blondes and Booze, um, and it's a big building, and one of the hallways, it's shaped in like a Y shaped building. One of
Hmm.
the hallways and you'll see this when you get there, or you'll feel it when you get there.
Mhm.
Right when you step into the start of that hallway, the vibe changes instantly. And I'm getting chills thinking about it.
Mm.
I mean, it's fine, the whole building, but that part of the hallway is just, I don't want, it's not demonic, but it's just dark.
Mhm.
It's crazy. And
Mhm.
I got that's the one time that I got scratched. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
So they kind of came after you, huh?
yeah. But I think it was more of them saying, I'm in charge here, because I was kind of asking them to do something and they were telling me to leave,
Mhm.
but I didn't. I think they were just kind of telling us, we're in charge here. This is our house.
Mhm.
We're here. Here's your,
Mm.
do what we say.
Yes.
So I'm like, yeah, that's
Yeah, okay. So you were instigating things.
yeah,
Okay. Well,
yeah,
there you go.
yeah. It was all my fault. It was all
There
my
you
fault.
go. It
But
happens.
yeah, but definitely stay tuned for that. I'm probably going to try and go live that night. I think that's 26 is on a Saturday. I'm going
Mhm.
to try and go
Yeah.
live that night. So we're going to have some fun and
That would
hopefully
be
get
awesome if you could go live from there.
yeah. And we did that last time we were there.
Okay.
Um, and we should be able to get the good signal again and have some
Mhm.
fun. So
Awesome.
yeah. So stay tuned for that on the 26th of October. Promoting little stuff.
Mhm.
Um, where was I going with this before we got?
Well, we started out being
Oh,
really busy,
that's
both
right.
of us.
So you're working on film number 3,
I
even
am.
before film number 2 is finished.
I
Correct?
am. I am.
Wow.
And as a matter of fact, I'm hoping to be done shooting with film number 3 the 1st of March.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an exciting film and a little bit of a deviation from what I have done in the past,
Hmm.
but I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm not really ready to let out what it's about yet because that can get into spoilers and
Yeah.
and some copycats. So
Yeah.
let's kind of keep the topic on it a bit of a secret for right now, but I'm already well into filming it, so
Wow.
I've got some more filming coming up on it, and it's going to be really exciting. I think
Hmm.
it's going to be unique, especially for what I do, and like I say, it's going to take a little bit of a left turn, so I'm excited about it, and it'll probably come out again maybe this time next year.
Awesome. Awesome. And, of course, we'll have you on to promote that next year, and when you're
Mm.
ready to do that. So let's talk about your new one that's coming out in January 4th,
January 4th.
Cryptic Expeditions, The Land Between the Lakes. And this is
Mhm.
I mean, it's a follow up to the Downey Booger,
It
and
is.
which was an excellent film. And from the trailers that we've seen and everything that you've said on here and on other shows, this one is a do not miss.
It is. It is. It's absolutely fantastic. It's fantastic.
Mhm.
I've been able to we're in the 90% range done with the film, and there's some things on it that's just it's fantastic. Now we know about the big encounter that we had at the LBL,
Mhm.
and I've talked about it. You know, as much as I can talk about it, I've talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so has Adam Davies and other people who have been there. They've also talked about it. But it's one thing to talk about it; it's another thing to see it. And when everybody sees it, it's going to live up to its expectations, especially that one encounter. However,
Mhm.
the one encounter is not everything about the film. It's a small portion of the film, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
And there's some stuff in there that rivals that encounter, as far as evidence goes.
Wow.
And it is chopped full of evidence. I mean, absolutely chopped full of evidence. So, when you see this, you have to take us at our word that everything you're seeing is real.
Mhm.
When you do that, then what you're seeing, you have to leave that up to your interpretation. What you're seeing. We have our interpretation because we were there,
Mm-hmm.
and we got it on recording. And we experienced it, right? Um, but there's going to be some people out there who may doubt, say, "Oh, you fake that," or something like that. Well, once you start doing that, your entire reputation is gone,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't matter what you make in the future.
Exactly.
I've elected not to fake anything ever, 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 ever. So what you see is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another reason why it takes so long to make these films.
Right. And it's up to the viewer, like you said, it's up to the viewer to decide whether it's real or not.
Mm-hmm.
You're a very reputable guy. I certainly believe everything that you have shown and said, and no reason to doubt it. It's and the reaction as well
Mm-hmm.
kind of gives it away that it's real and not faked.
Right. You know,
Yeah.
all of our reactions are spontaneous,
Mm-hmm.
and even when I had a back injury last year,
Mm-hmm.
and even during that back injury, when I was able, I went out and still investigated for the furtherance of the film. And we had a good encounter then. It's not as exciting because I wasn't able to get up and walk around a whole lot. I
Right.
just had to kind of stay in one spot. But still, it was really exciting, that one encounter. So, like I said, it's just full of evidence. And I feel really blessed as, you know, just being able to be part
Mm-hmm.
of these encounters. So there's not many one offer encounters where it's just one person. There's
Mm-hmm.
usually multiple people who have encountered it. So it's not just having to take one person at their word.
Exactly.
There's multiple witnesses,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it's exciting. It really starts off like a horror movie. If you're looking at things, okay, if you're looking at a graph, right,
Mm-hmm.
and the higher up it goes, in the graph is the excitement, and you go this way, it's the timing. It starts off really, really high,
Uh-huh.
in the excitement. It kind of levels off a little bit, and it has these little bumps all up and down in the movie, and
Mm-hmm.
then right there toward the end, it goes really off the scale, and then goes back down. So it starts off like a horror movie, and then it has its moments all through the film, and then at the end, it ends with a bang as well. So it's absolutely fabulous. I love it so far. Brent's done a really good job as far as putting everything together and making everything flow well, and
Mm-hmm.
it's informational too.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great interview at the Casey Jones Distillery that's fantastic, and we've done a really good job putting this one together. It's going to be fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
From the first time that you were on here talking about this film to now, your enthusiasm has ramped up considerably. I
Hmm.
mean, before you were like, "Yeah, this is a fantastic film, all kinds of great evidence and stuff."
Hmm.
Now, listening to what you just said, you're off the charts excited on
I
this.
am, I am, yeah, I
Before
am.
you were on the charts, but kind of high on the charts. Now
Hmm.
you're off the charts.
Yeah, it's off the chart. Yeah, there's not even a number for where I'm at as far as the excitement for the film. You
Yeah.
know, it is there's so much jam packed in it. We had to leave out evidence. That's fantastic. We had to leave it out. Just it was getting too long. The film was getting too long, and I was like, holy moly, this is fabulous evidence,
Mm-hmm.
and we can't put it in.
Wow.
Um, it's but it's a good problem to have. If you're going to have
It
a
is.
problem, that's a good one to have.
It is.
Absolutely, it's a good one to have.
It is.
So, and I may even put some of that in the next film coming up.
There you go. There you go. So let's quickly talk about where we can get tickets for this. Brushfire.com/relicfilms/Cryptic Expeditions. And you have 3 levels of tickets.
There is the curious, the simply curious, and that's our lowest level, $20. You get to come in, enjoy being around the cast and crew of the film, and you can just generally go in and get to see the film. There is the next level, which now all of these are in priority seating as well. So the next level, you'll be able to get like a signed poster, and let me see what else goes with it. The next level, you'll be able to get an autograph signed poster, and the seating for that is second, and then it's the believer part, and the investigator level, you get a signed DVD, an autographed cast picture or poster rather, and you get to choose your seating first. So those are the levels that we've decided to come in and put in. The upper levels, we're not making any extra money on that. It's just something that we thought that we could do for our viewers that is at cost really to us.
Yeah.
So essentially you're paying $20 to see the film, and that's going to cover really rental of the hotel, of the not hotel, of the theater. You can tell I am tired. It's going to cover rental of the theater, and everything else is pretty much at cost. So if you want to sign DVD, well, I may still have a few there at the premiere, and I'll have some posters there at the premiere for purchase if you'd like to purchase some of them. Now, as far as the extra seating goes, those are most of those are sold out on the highest level. I think there's 2 tickets available on the highest level, and the other one is halfway sold out. Let me look.
Wow. So get your tickets sooner rather than later.
That's right. Yes.
And this is going to be in Cullman, Alabama.
It is on January 4th, 2025. And hey, look, you don't have to worry about football games that day. I've picked it so it does not interfere with any football game that day.
That is probably one of the most important, seeing that it is in January, the NFL playoffs start, college football playoffs are in full swing then. That to me is a very important aspect that you covered, not to interfere with any football playoffs.
Right. So
very, very smart move on your part there.
Well, I like it myself. So
that's right.
In the small chance that my favorite team got into the playoffs, I would want to see them too. So but it doesn't look like that's going to happen this year. There's always next year. We keep saying that.
Exactly. And so I haven't gotten my tickets yet. I don't know what I've been waiting for. I'm just a procrastinator, but I will be getting mine right after we're recording this.
And in the event that people cannot make the physical premiere, there will be tickets available for an online streaming version.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Sweet. So you'll be able to see it online on January 4th, just like you'll be able to see everybody else at the premiere will be able to see it, except it won't be in the theater.
Right. And you won't have the cast around you, and
you won't have all that. You'll be in the luxury of your own home, I guess.
Right.
But those tickets will go on sale right around Thanksgiving.
Awesome. I'm actually planning my drive already. I'm kind of calculating. So I think it's about a 6.5 hour drive. So I'm figuring 7 hours. I want to get there about an hour before. So I'm probably leaving about at least 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. So
Wow. Are you
Dedication, my
Central
friend.
Standard Time there?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. I was going to say you need to throw that in there if you were
Mm-hmm.
in a
Yep.
different time zone.
No, we're central. So,
Mhm.
and I have the route all planned out. So I just, and I
Mhm.
think so. So Krista lives just north of me,
Mhm.
in St. Louis. Um, so I don't know if she's coming in on Friday or Saturday morning.
Mhm.
So if she's coming in Saturday morning, I might hitch a ride with her. If not, I will be
Okay.
driving down there. So
Okay.
so
And
make sure.
there's going to be an after dinner afterwards. I mean,
Oh, sweet.
yeah, we're going to go to, I've got a restaurant picked out and all that wants to. Of course, it's going to be, you have to buy your own meals,
Mhm.
but we've secured a place for us to, all gather in one place and, have dinner together.
That would be awesome. That would be what kind of restaurant is it? Like barbecue?
Um,
Or?
it's barbecue. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Barbecue place. Barbecue joint. It's in the
Very,
South.
very important to me. So,
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
all right. So, Cryptic Expeditions, Land Between the Lakes, January 4th is the premiere in Cullman, Alabama. Make sure that you get
Hmm.
your tickets
Hmm.
soon before they run out.
Right.
And don't be a procrastinator like myself. So,
Hmm.
so we will.
And bring your cameras too, because we're going to have some nice posters. So I'm going to have like a life size poster of, it'll be a life size movie poster where you can take pictures of, with yourself or with some of the cast members or whatever.
Oh, sweet.
So make sure bring your cameras,
Is it
but
going to
just
be a red carpet event?
yeah, well, I don't know if they'll throw out the red carpet or not, but it's going to be
It'll be
something very similar. I mean,
awesome.
it's going to be as close to a Hollywood premiere as we can get it.
So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring my video camera, microphone, and I'll have a light on the camera, and
Hmm.
I'm gonna pretend that I'm the press,
Hmm.
and I'll as
Well, you
everybody's
are the
walking by.
press. Everybody's the press. No, seriously. If you have a show, you're the press.
Yeah,
If you have a camera, you're the press. Seriously.
this is gonna be fun.
Hmm.
I
And
might,
it's Saturday. If you want to do a show while you're there, do your show.
hmm.
You can live stream. You have somebody hold your camera and live stream and go out and do interviews to the people that's there and, just kind of lead into the show. Ideas. If you want to, it's just up to you.
Hell yeah! This is gonna be fun, dude.
Mm.
I can't wait.
Yep.
I can't wait.
Yep.
So, all right, make sure you get your tickets and stay tuned. We're gonna have all kinds of fun things around January 4th going
Hmm.
on. So I want to ask you. I can't remember I can't remember what I did yesterday. So forgive me if
Yeah,
I've
me
asked you
either.
this before. I know you've had a ton of encounters
Yes.
in your life. What made you want to get into documentary?
Well, it was sort of a natural for me. By trade, I'm a traffic engineer, and what I had done was investigate major crashes, and I tried to solve the mystery of what caused the crashes,
Mhm,
whether it be vehicular, pedestrian, vehicular, traffic. Train,
mhm,
train vehicle, whatever it might be, and they were usually disasters. And um, one of the ways of documentation is just filming, right?
mhm,
So I was used to filming things, sometimes very gory things. And I was also very, very used to solving mysteries. I'm very good at that, piecing evidence together.
mhm,
And it's very much the same as if you're a crime investigator and you're solving that mystery. It's all the same tools.
mhm.
So I brought those tools into doing this when I just sort of needed a diversion in my life at the time, and I was tired of hunting and fishing. So I just started doing this. And while I was doing this, I was like, well, I can solve this mystery. It's a mystery. I'm used to it. I like my job. I like what I do, and I think I could do this. So we literally went out, and I contacted UAB, the University of Alabama at Birmingham, their theater department, see if the director knew of anybody that would be interested in doing something like this, and she put me in contact with Brent Magoo, and we've been off to the races ever since. And literally on our first outing, we came across fabulous evidence, just fabulous evidence in the Bankhead National Forest. These 16-inch tracks that were 7 inches wide and at the top and 6 inches wide at the back. And these tracks were perfectly castable, but I was so inexperienced, I didn't bring any casting materials, and I didn't bring anything to really document like a trackway, like flags. I bring flags with me now,
Right.
So you can actually see the pathway that something would take. These weren't just one print; it was trackways. And I got on camera and I started documenting them, much like I would in a traffic scene, right? And when I started going back and looking at it, it was terrible. It was horrible. I mean, my presence was like, oh man, nobody's going to watch this. As soon as they do, they're going to turn it off. So I was like, no, I got to go back and start doing some rebranding of myself when it comes to like being on camera. So we got back with Brent and I said, hey, look, I know all of this was it was fabulous evidence, but we don't need to put that on the film, right? So let's just calm that down.
Yeah.
So I went to YouTube and started learning presentations, and then I went back to my public speaking classes that I took at Auburn University and started putting some of that stuff back into practice and making things more presentable, and a lot of people don't know it, but I do have a speech impediment that I've had a lot of trouble overcoming in my earlier years. So that's kind of where my accent comes from. A lot of people don't know that I'm from Alabama when they speak with me in person. I say, like, where are you from? I'm like, yeah, I've always lived here. They say, well, have you ever been to the Midwest? I'm like, no, this is my home. This is where I've stayed. So but that's just a byproduct of me overcoming the speech impediment that I had.
Right.
So as time went by, I got better and better at an on-camera presence, and it's been a big learning curve, a huge learning curve. When we started, I knew absolutely nothing, zero, zilch about filming, putting together a documentary. But I said, oh, I'm an engineer. How hard can it be? Right now, oh well, oh my God, it is hard.
Yeah,
it is hard. It is.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't know what you're doing. It's hard, and doing it right. Yeah, I mean, anybody can put together some clips, some video clips, but it's tough when you don't know what you're doing and making it presentable, right?
And it's tough when you did it before and you take some time off and then you try and get back into it and you're like, okay, how do I cut this? And what, but then, once you get to it, it's, like
and during that process, I participated in making a couple of Star Trek fan films. And, I took on many, many, many hats during those productions. And that was just practice for me. I took that as practice and learning the editing process and learning the producing process and the directing process, and finding out that many of those are the same. But I've practiced a lot since then, and now kind of know what I'm doing a little bit.
And you have a very calming voice, very easy to listen to voice,
Mhm,
whether it be on interviews like this or even in your films.
mhm.
Very calming, relaxing voice, and I'm sure it's hectic shooting all this stuff.
It is.
Yeah.
It is very stressful sometimes
Hmm.
because and doing what we do, we're lucky enough to be able to get free participation many times. But
Hmm.
in exchange, we just conform our schedule to the guest schedule, right?
Right.
So we do it when they can. And a lot of these takes that we do are one time takes, and you
Yeah.
have to make sure everything goes right.
Hmm.
And it is so stressful because in making these films, what I have experienced is that you have battery drainage. You have issues with cameras where they be just, sometimes lines, these weird lines will come across on your video footage, and
Hmm.
sometimes they'll just not work. Sometimes they'll cut off for unexplained reasons that happened during the making of this film. Um, so it's incredibly stressful, making sure that everything goes right.
Hmm.
And there's a golden hour, so to speak, that the natural lighting is perfect
Yep.
for.
Yep.
And once it's gone.
You
There's
can't
no
go
getting
back
it back. Yeah, you can't go back. So you
until
have
the
to
next day.
yeah, until the next day. And if your guest isn't available the next day, it's gone.
Yep. Yep.
So it can be very, very, very stressful.
Hmm.
The encounter was extremely unstressful. I mean, it was bonkers. You
Right.
know, uh, like I said, I had Brent with one arm. I was holding him, and
Hmm.
he was just, "Oh, we got to get out of here. We got to go. We got to go." I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. We're okay. This is why we're here. This is why we're here."
Hmm.
And uh, eh, I'm trying to get the video camera going with my right hand. Of course, everything's pitch black,
Yep.
And if nobody's ever tried to fiddle with a camera in pitch black, you haven't lived yet.
Right. You're using your thumb
Yeah,
to
yeah,
make sure that you get
try to
that
do
record
everything.
button
Yeah,
there.
right. And,
Yeah.
and then amongst all that, I look up, and that's when I see this thing, this Bigfoot standing in front of the truck. And I'm like,
Oh
oh
my God.
crap. And I'm in shock. I'm trying to work the camera. I'm trying to hold Brent all at the same time and remain calm myself.
Hmm.
Um,
I used to back a long, long time ago. I used to videotape weddings, and I mean this was VHS recordings at the time. And I remember one time, like you said, one shot and you can't get it back. We were
that's
doing
right.
it was either a father-daughter dance or the bride and groom's first dance. It started and I'm following them and stuff. And I happened to look up and the damn record light wasn't on. I'm like, oh God.
Oh,
That's one thing you,
oh.
you can't get back. Luckily, there was a second camera and he was able to cover me until I
Hmm.
got it turned back on. But
Hmm.
you just feel so horrible, and that stuff is kind of planned. So, like you said, you're make sure that the lighting's on, the camera is rolling, you have plenty
Hmm.
of tape and
Hmm.
now record space.
Hmm.
Um, but these encounters, they're not planned, so you have to
Right.
be at a moment's
Hmm.
notice ready to go.
You have to be Johnny on the spot.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, um, so being calm well, that's really part of my nature is being calm.
Yeah.
You know, uh, I do know that panicking never solves anything.
No.
Panicking, it makes everything much more difficult. So if you stay calm in any situation, the outcome is much likely higher likelihood of succeeding
Hmm.
if you stay calm.
Hmm.
So like I said, that's part of my nature, and I've seen a lot. So I can't say that I was not um, a bit nervous during the encounter, but I wasn't terrified either. You know, there has been times, where uh, we've been more alone, and
Hmm.
I was more concerned. And looking back on things, I did leave one time because what I thought was a bear doing this huffing, growling sound. Um, I actually think it was probably a Bigfoot looking
Wow.
back on it. And
Wow.
it was an event that was just going out for fun,
Mhm.
I wasn't recording at all, and I wasn't armed. So I had said to Brent, I said, "Look, there's a bear or something down there's growling at us," and I thought it might have been a bear. So I was like, "Look, let's go ahead and leave for our safety because I'm not armed, and I know he wasn't armed.
Mhm.
So if something did try to attack, we would be at at a much
Big disadvantage.
disadvantage,
Yeah. Yeah.
huge disadvantage."
Yeah.
But looking back on it, I really think it was a Bigfoot because it sounded a whole lot like what we had heard there
Mhm.
at the LBL.
Wow. You mentioned hunting for fun, or I guess
Hmm.
Bigfoot investigation for fun.
Hmm.
Um, does that have a whole new meaning for you now that you've done this documentary for several years now? And if you just go out there just to, by yourself, with a sidearm or whatever,
Hmm.
you just have no real responsibilities other than to look for things.
Hmm. It does. It's much more relaxing.
Yeah.
You know, I went out this past weekend and I didn't carry any cameras with me. I
Mhm.
did carry like a night vision, uh, camera that has capability of recording, but just if you just film an encounter just by itself and there's nothing else to go with it, it's odd. It's weird. You can't use it,
Yeah.
unless you go back and recreate everything, and then it looks fake.
Yeah.
Everything looks fake. So,
Yeah.
this weekend was more just for fun, and we had an encounter.
Mhm.
It wasn't, I would say, spectacular, but there was this guy named Sean who was with us, and we there was three of us together, and we had formed a triangle, sort of back to back, and we were all looking in all three directions so that nothing could sneak up on us and we could see everything. So Sean he's got these magnificent Gen 3 night vision goggles. They're fantastic. And he had asked me to take the FLIR and look in the direction that he was.
Mhm.
And so when I took the FLIR, looked over there, I did get a heat signature, and there was something behind a tree, sort of like peeking out from behind a tree, like classic Bigfoot peeking. And I said,
Mhm.
"Yeah, there it is. It's like peeking. It's behind a tree, and it's like peeking out, right?" So we sit there and watch it for several minutes. And I do get it on recording, and I've got this night, like I said, the night vision that I got has like a spotlight IR on it,
Mhm.
and I turned it on, and apparently it scared it away. Whatever it was, it scared it away. After I turned on the spotlight IR, I took, Sean said it, was no longer there, and I took my FLIR and confirmed that it was no longer there. And we did a comparison video with somebody that some other people that was in the group came to join up with us, and this other individual, he's 6'4", I think he said he was 6'4", 6'5". Anyway, the heat signature dwarfed him. I mean, it was dwarf.
Wow.
Yeah, he was dwarfed. So what we were looking at was probably 8 to 8.5 foot range. It was
Wow.
a lot bigger than our test subject. So I was able to do a comparison on it, and like I said, it's not the best footage in the world. However, it's still footage of something
Mhm.
that was sitting there peeking. And while we were there, we were going to investigate how it got away from us, and where it was standing. There's this little deep ravine that it could have easily just jumped down in and escaped without even us seeing it at all.
Mhm.
So, these outings like that is so peaceful for me. It was so much fun. It is so peaceful, no stress whatsoever. The skies were beautiful. The company was great. You're still sitting there and just
Mhm.
chatting and giggling and
Yeah.
making jokes up, and there's just no stress. So yes, does it have a different meaning? Absolutely,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Do you've gone Bigfooting a lot around the country and stuff. Do you have a favorite location, like a go-to location?
Favorite location? Yes, um, it's in Georgia, it's just south of Carrollton in uh, Whitesburg, Georgia. There's a national park right out there on the other side of the Chattahoochee River. I forget the name of the forest, but there's a national forest right there, and it is every time we go there, we have something happen. Something, whether it be orbs or something crawling, looking at us. That's where we got the thing that was crawling, looking at us in the Downy Booger.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're sitting there filming the orb, right? Because always see orbs there, always, and we call it something crawling between us and the orb.
Mhm.
So I still haven't seen anybody else who's got footage of two phenomena in one frame. So I'm still
Really?
waiting on that. And I'm proud of that footage. hmm But
That's awesome.
it would have been different if we'd have known the crawler was there.
Yeah.
It would have probably been scared out of our damn minds.
That's
But
awesome. Um, do you have so I mean, let's talk before you got into the Bigfooting. I know you have
mhm.
some really interesting encounters. Have you talk about some of your UFO encounters? I know you
Well,
have some
I've had two,
too. Okay.
and they were long ago.
Hmm.
Um, the first one, it was my two brothers, two cousins, and myself when we were on a road that my grandmother lived on. We was all walking down to see her, and it was dusky dark, you know.
Hmm.
While we're walking down there, we were all real little kids, all little kids.
Hmm.
So that's the only reason we'll still be able to be out. It was still just dusky dark.
Right.
Anyway, so this light shines down on us, just boom, and it's so bright you cannot see beyond the edge of the light,
Really?
right? And I mean, the only thing that you could see was within this circle of light. And I remember trying to look up at it and it being so bright and trying to hide my eyes. And then um, I remember looking at my hands
Hmm.
and kind of doing this with my hand, and you could feel the light. It's much like static electricity. I
Okay.
would say that's what I would liken it to. But I mean, it was just it was heavy, heavy, thick. You could feel it. Then my next memory of this encounter was on my grandmother's porch, and it's a covered porch, old country house.
Hmm.
And in my little mind, I was thinking, how is the light coming through the porch? Because it was still on us.
Yeah.
And then I remember looking out and seeing the light lift. Now it didn't turn off; it lifted up, just like that.
Oh.
Um, so that was interesting.
Hmm.
I didn't see the craft itself. My oldest brother did, and he
Hmm.
said it was a giant triangle, maybe 400 or 500 yards across.
Wow.
And then he said it had a little bit of motion to it, and then poof, it was gone
In a blink of an eye.
in the blink of an eye. Yeah,
No sound.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
There was no sound to it.
Wow.
So I don't remember how we got to the porch. All I do remember is being terrified.
Oh yeah. Especially as
And
a little kid. Yeah, I can
yeah,
see that.
I was a little kid. I was terrified. I do remember being terrified.
Did you
Um,
have any kind of markings where they might have done something to you or anything?
I don't remember. I was very young, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Wow. That's
Um,
you hear a lot about triangles, not so much the circular vehicles anymore.
mhm,
That's kind of weird. I mean, before, say, maybe 50s, 60s, whatever, it was more of the round
mhm.
UFO saucers.
Now I did have, and it was around the same time. I was still a little kid, and my next door neighbor and I, she was a little kid at the time too. We were playing in a field of where we lived, and we saw this UFO coming down, like straight down at us. It was like coming down in a spiral, sort of. And we did see that craft. We got a very good look at it, and it was very much like a saucer craft with a larger dome in the middle, and it had a spire there at the top. We kind of likened the spire to the, what do you call it on a submarine? The periscope.
Periscope. Yeah.
Yeah. The
Telescope.
periscope on a submarine. We kind of likened it to that.
Yeah.
We said it's got a periscope on top. But I remember we were both really scared then and took off running, but it seemed like it was coming straight toward us.
Wow. Wow.
Now we were little kids, and maybe we assumed that, but I remember we took off running, and we did get to see that craft. And I have seen craft and pictures that looked identical to what we saw.
Wow. What do you think of these crafts and these beings? Are they from here? Government? Possibly? Or are they out of
Well,
the
if the ones that we saw are from here, they were taken from ones that were not from here, either reverse engineered or recovered, either one of the two. So either way, it confirms to me that there's life beyond what we have here on Earth.
Yeah.
Oh, the UFO that's on top is very similar to what we saw. If you put a spire on top of it, that's what we saw.
Interesting.
Yeah, the one that's on your page.
And that's completely AI generated. So all my backgrounds and stuff, that's all fake.
Yeah.
But yeah,
well,
I mean,
I'm just saying that's very classic to what we saw. Very, very close to what we saw. If you put a spire on top of the dome.
Wow. Huh. Maybe I'll go in and I'll.
Yeah. You trying to give me trauma, some PTSD there, Paul?
No. But yeah, I find all these, I have never had a UFO encounter. I've never had a Bigfoot encounter, or a cryptid encounter for that matter that I know of. I just find all this stuff just fascinating. And, I've, when my pool's open, I find myself laying in the pool, just kind of not really dozing off, although sometimes I do, just kind of looking out and just kind of wondering what is out there. Is something watching me at this time and stuff. And, I don't know if I should say unfortunately or fortunately, I've never experienced anything like that. And,
well, I can tell you, Paul, they're out there.
Yeah.
After seeing one with my own eyes, very, very close. They're there. It's, these people aren't fibbing. People are seeing something. I'm sure that there are some that are.
Yeah.
However, Paul, if you ever do go out, this is what I suggest. If you start meditating, start clearing your mind and being able to get in touch with the other beings that we can't see. There's beings here that we can't see.
Right.
They're just out of our vibrational range, out of our light range. Train yourself to raise your own vibration so that you can attract these other beings that's around you. That's what I've started doing. And I started doing this like several years ago. And I can tell you, frequency of encounters ramps up when you
Really?
Yes, when you meditate and you invite them to come to you. And what I have learned in life is that like attracts like. And what I mean by that is if you say things such as, okay, I hate this, I hate that, life's so bad, it's horrible, all this negative stuff, negative things are going to become to you. They're going to attract to you. However, If you start doing the opposite of that, you know, I am healthy, I am wealthy,
Hmm.
all this other stuff. I attract, whatever beings, angels or whatever.
Hmm.
Then the higher frequency things will be attracted to you, if that makes sense.
It does. I believe that as well. Yeah.
Like attracts like.
Hmm.
So, and you have to always make that a practice,
Right.
to do these affirmations. And if you
Hmm.
do them every day, multiple times a day, things that'll be soon will become your life. You know,
Interesting.
so and I started meditating on, saying to myself, yeah, I can see these things. I want to interact with these things. I interact with whatever Bigfoot is.
Hmm.
And sure enough, I started to have lots of more encounters, the personal encounters, instead of seeing
Right.
just the secondary evidence.
Right. I believe that as well. And ever since I've started doing the show back in March last year, things have kind of happened more around the house. I've heard things, I've
Hmm.
smelled things,
Hmm.
things have happened around here, and that's even without meditating. And
Hmm. They'll
if I
follow
had
you.
to,
Yeah,
yeah,
they'll follow
and
you.
yeah, and I just kind of took it as I'm more open to this
Hmm.
kind of stuff now.
Hmm.
And my father's come through, somebody's come through where they talk to me and my wife
Hmm.
downstairs, and other things have happened here that's kind of
Hmm.
crazy.
Hmm.
What would you recommend to somebody first time going out Bigfoot hunting?
Okay. If you're first time going out Bigfooting, mm,
Because eventually I'm gonna do this.
mm, you go out first to enjoy nature,
Hmm.
enjoy being out. Um, Second, don't go out alone.
Hmm.
Never, ever, ever go out alone. Third, have a recorder before you even get out of your vehicle.
Hmm.
Have a recorder going, because there's lots of times that as soon as we've gotten out of the vehicle, we've heard knocks, whoops, yells, screams. The encounter was within 5 minutes of being out of our vehicle.
Wow.
So always have a recorder. If you can, you can go on to Temu or some of these other sites and buy body cam recorders.
Yeah.
Okay. So put something behind you as you're walking away,
Oh.
as you're walking,
Yeah.
so that it records what's behind you.
Yeah.
Okay. And what I like to do is get a tactical vest. Now, these tactical vests, they're rather cheap, $30, whatever, on Amazon or Temu.
Okay.
And then it's got all these little sleeves and stuff where you can attach things. I always attach those things to the back. There's places for attachments for that. There's places for attachments for cameras on your vests. So um, when I'm going out for investigative stuff during the day for filming, I put one on back, a camera on front, and I've got like a radio on. The
Hmm.
tactical vest has a place to put your radio right here.
Hmm.
So keep in contact with other people. Always let somebody know where you're going, the general area where you're going to be at. If you want, you can take like a small safety patch with you, like a whistle,
Hmm.
a laser. People don't know. People underestimate how the importance of a laser when it's
Hmm.
very, very bright. If you get out somewhere and you get your leg is broken or you can't speak or something like that, uh, you take at night. You can take this laser, and if people are trying to find you, they can see these lasers in the woods.
Hmm.
So I always carry me a laser, and the one I've got, you can start fires with. So
Wow.
it's very powerful.
Yeah.
And a funny story with that. The first time that I got it, I had stuck it in my back pocket, and I was over in Georgia, pitching my tent, and I was bending over, and I started smelling smoke. Right, I'm like, dang. I looked down, it was in my pocket, and it was on. It was burning a hole. It was burning a hole. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I pulled it out. That's like, so that taught me a lesson. Whenever I'm not really wanting to use it, I take the batteries and I put them in backwards. So I don't
Just so long as you remember to turn the batteries around.
Well, yeah, when you
That's
go,
awesome.
well, yeah, but that was a funny story. I had to throw the pants away, burn a big old hole in it.
Thankfully, it had a good ending.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
It did. But I mean, my gosh, that thing's
Wow.
powerful. So
Wow.
don't underestimate the need for a laser. Those really help.
Okay.
They don't take up a whole lot of room either.
Yeah.
Carry something to sit down with, like a small chair, something, like they carry these little small chairs.
Mhm.
If you once you get out to wherever you're going, plop you a seat down.
Mhm. And
Carry your red light.
I'm sure it's easy to get kind of disoriented
Yes,
out in the woods
it is.
too.
It is.
I mean, I get disoriented out in
Especially at night.
Yeah.
Especially at night. You get in the woods at night, you can get disoriented quick.
Yeah.
Don't go off trail. Stay on trails.
Mm-hmm.
Do not go off trail.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly at night. During the day is a different story. You can go off trail, but at night I would not go off trail. I don't go off trail at night.
Right.
Again, you want to carry a red light, red or green, so that you can navigate by that while you're out. And if you need to look at something, the red and green light will keep your eyes from being blinded by the white light. Once you get your look into some bright light, it takes about 20 minutes for your eyes to recover, so to get your night vision back. So, but it's not so bad with a red or green light. And if you can, close one eye while you've got a light on. So that'll help too. Get comms or something to record with, and some safety stuff. If you've got a phone or something that has a GPS, and you can get GPS things really cheaply nowadays, like the old Garmin's. You can get them real cheap now if you go to some kind of pawn store or something like that. And those you don't need signal with. They run off satellite. They run off satellite. You don't need a cell signal.
Yeah.
Right. So and that's really all the equipment and stuff that you really need to get started. And you can have a lot of these encounters just doing that. And I would say if one of the first things people experience is rock throwing. If something starts throwing rocks, your first inclination is to, look at, what was that? To acknowledge the rock throwing. Keep in mind, that's what they want you to do. Don't do it. Just ignore it.
Really?
Ignore it. Yes. Ignore it. And you could talk to another and say, hey, did you hear that? And say, yeah, somebody threw it rock. Don't look toward it. Okay. That's the biggest mistake, because it'll stop. And then all your activity is going to stop that night.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Once that's common for it. So it's not saying that'll happen all the time. It's common though. But if you ignore the rock throwing, it gets more intense later. Wow. So that's the way you can have an account. Usually the rock throwing is they're just playing with you.
Yeah.
That's all.
That would be probably pretty difficult to ignore at first, at least.
Yeah, at first it is.
Yeah.
But we've learned to ignore things like that.
Yeah.
Unless it's something big. If they throw a chunk of big rock at you, it's hard to ignore that. And you can see during the film where a rock was thrown, and it was a big one, and it was tough to ignore.
Yeah. So we were down in Brumley, Missouri, which is down by Lake of the Ozarks and Osage Beach, down in southwest Missouri, southern Missouri. And we're at the Haunted Castle House, and we were sitting outside, and they have these two buildings. One's an outhouse, which was really kind of close to us. Both have metal roofs. And then down further, probably about 50 yards down the yard, was like a chicken coop. Both had metal roofs. So, but by the outhouse, there was walnut trees, and they would fall and hit things. But down by the chicken coop, something hit that chicken coop, and there was no trees around it to where it could have dropped from the tree. So something had to have been thrown. So somebody went down there and was kind of asking, "Can you do that again? Can you do that again?" We never had found a rock or anything. Granted, it was dark, and it happened again. Something hit the side of it. So we had like ghost encounters, spirit encounters outside pretty much that whole time. So something was trying to get our attention down there.
Yeah, that's been my experience. The rock throwing stuff, they're playing with you, trying to get your attention.
And I felt kind of bad because there was 3 of us kind of sitting around up there. The one guy went down there. I went halfway because I couldn't hear what he was saying from all the way up where we were sitting. And Krista was sitting up by the tables, and she kept yelling at me, "Don't you go all the way down there too. Leave me by myself." So I kind of hung back a little bit and like, okay, sorry. Yeah, my mistake.
Yeah.
So, but luckily it was nothing.
And again, that shows the importance of having comms. If you have a radio, you can clearly hear what the others are saying. So, comms is really important.
And have more than one person with you. So
that's right.
Have
more than one.
And like you said, the story before this past weekend when you guys are walking in like a triangle formation where you have everybody's back and everything's covered too. So so that's awesome.
Yeah, and all this stuff comes with experience.
Oh yeah. I was supposed to go to the LBL last weekend, but that got canceled. So I was kind of disappointed in that. But I completely understand the guy that had all the reservations down there had to help a brother or something with flooding from one of the hurricanes that just went through. So that was completely understandable. But I was kind of looking forward to that. Nervous, but kind of looking forward to that. So
it's a special place. It is.
Yeah.
And I think, well, if you go in November, it might be very, very special.
Yeah.
So, right now there's still a little bit of foliage out. And foliage is the enemy of Bigfooting.
So is there a time of year or really any time that's better than any other time?
October to March is the best.
Okay.
For me, it is. But once you get past March, here's the things that you're going to encounter. Number 1's increased foliage. Number 2 is all the bugs and insects. Number 3 is the heat, snakes and everything else. So all of that is a big giant no for me. The foliage makes it more difficult to see what you might be encountering. The crickets and everything else, the crickets, frogs, and all the other insects makes it very, very, very difficult to hear. So I absolutely do not film after March and before October. I just don't do it.
And then the snakes, they're just
and the snakes. Away from them. The snake. I don't get along with snakes.
No.
Nope.
I've really only encountered 2, and that's 2's plenty for me. I'd rather not. Yeah, I'd rather not.
Yeah, I don't like the snakes. So nope. And then there's plenty of them out there. And the bears are waking up after March, so I don't want to. And they're hungry when they wake up, so I don't want to be part of their menu.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Definitely. So between October and March is the best times.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Good to know. Well, Greg, I certainly do appreciate you coming on here and kind of short notice. I texted you yesterday and asked you if you can come on. So really appreciate you coming on. Always a fun time talking to Greg Ogles.
No worries.
One more time, real quick, Cryptic Expeditions. Go to brushfire.com to get your tickets if you want to go to the premiere. And like you said, tickets are going to be available in November, you said, for the live stream?
For the live stream, absolutely.
Okay. If you can't make it down to Coleman, Alabama, for this.
Mhm.
And
It'll be a fun time though.
it will be a fun time. And if you, I mean, get down there and you'll meet a lot of people, and maybe you'll get on my show and as the
Could
press.
be. Could be.
You know, I need to get one of those press hats with the press on there and like
You know, just don't be like the Three Stooges, where two of them got the buttons that said press and the other one got the button that said pull.
I would have the one that said pull. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Mhm.
All right. Where can we find the Legend of Donny Booger?
Legend of the Donny Booger. Oh, God, I'm so tired. Can be found on Tubi, Walmart.com. You can buy your physical copies. You can find it on YouTube and Freevee and all of the other streaming services. Please go out and watch it. It's still a very good film, and it's that time of year. So, and this is going to, it'll prepare you for a little bit of what you're going to see in Cryptic Expeditions, The Land Between the Lakes.
Awesome. So make sure you get out and watch that. And then, you know, once that's out, go to the premiere, do the live stream. And then after that, you know, watch it same places.
Same places.
All right. And
well,
then
maybe the places for Cryptic Expeditions, The Land Between the Lakes, is still up for debate. There's a small chance that it may actually go into theaters. So
really,
yes,
possibly coming to a theater near you.
Possibly.
That would be awesome.
I got my fingers crossed.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. So stay tuned for all that. A lot more information coming out when Greg has it as well. So, and once again, Greg, thank you so much for joining us. Hope everybody enjoyed it. You're a fan favorite wherever you go. So I appreciate you coming on and thoroughly enjoy talking to you. So
thank you, sir.
Everybody have a great rest of your week. Next week, we will be getting back to the lives on Saturday night. So, and once again, I apologize for a pre-recorded, but you know, sometimes life just happens and you got to do what you got to do. So
that's right.
Everybody, hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you next time. Have a great time, everybody.
See you, Paul.